Are you ready to hear a truth no one has dared to speak to you? You aren't lost. You aren't forsaken. You aren't late or behind. What you are is misaligned, hypnotized by appearances, enchanted by fear, and divorced from the divine design of your life. You've believed the lies of time, the tyranny of confusion, and the cruel suggestion that something has gone wrong. But I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to remind you. I'm here to tell you the path isn't gone. It's simply unseen. You don't stand in darkness, but in fog. And fog isn't a wall, it's a veil. The moment you speak, the moment you remember who you are, that veil lifts. You are never far from your answer. You are never outside the plan. You are one word away from divine clarity. I declare to you, the divine plan of your life cannot be lost. The map isn't missing. It's written within, etched upon your soul. Your path can't be destroyed, only delayed by fear, only dimmed by doubt, but never lost. The idea that you must figure it all out is the great deception, the great illusion. You're not here to struggle. You're not here to wander in shame. You're here to speak, to command, to align, and to walk in rhythm with spirit. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Your word is your wand. If you haven't spoken, you haven't yet walked. You say, I feel lost. But what you're truly saying is, I've stopped speaking. I've forgotten my power. I'm listening to fear and waiting for man to deliver what only God can reveal. And I say to you, speak again. Rise and remember that your tongue holds the key to your next season. You aren't waiting on God. God is waiting on your word. You aren't stuck. You are suspended between belief and doubt. And now is the time to choose. I speak to your spirit. I speak to the part of you that knows you aren't here by accident. This message found you by divine appointment. Something within you already knows what I will say. Something eternal, undisturbed by time, is stirring now. You were born to walk in dominion, not delay. You were born to command the fog to lift. You were born to say, I am never lost. I am always led. I am never alone. I am always aligned. I am never behind. I am right on divine time. So come, child of spirit, let's begin. For the next 14 days, you shall speak again. You shall rise each morning with a word of power. You shall go to bed each night with a declaration of truth. You shall stop waiting and begin walking, not by sight but by faith, not by logic but by law. The law of divine guidance, the law of right timing, the law that governs all things unseen. For the next 14 days, the fog will lift, the map will rise, and the path will reappear, not because it was missing, but because you remembered your place in the divine pattern. You were never lost. You simply stopped commanding your day, and now you will begin again. The moment you believe you are lost, you've already denied the law. You've placed your faith not in God, but in confusion. You've bowed to delay, entertained fear, and called it realism. But the law isn't moved by appearances. The law isn't deceived by circumstance. The law of divine guidance is exact, perfect, and constant. It doesn't falter. It doesn't vanish. It isn't disrupted by what your senses report. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. This isn't poetic metaphor. It's spiritual technology. It means your spoken word illuminates only the step before you, not the entire journey, not the mountain peak, only the next inch. And that is all you need. The law works by illumined obedience. When you speak in faith, a path appears. When you speak in fear, all paths seem to disappear. This is the metaphysical cause of feeling lost. You've shifted your trust from spirit to shadow, from divine knowing to human panic. You've begun demanding to know before you move. But divine law says, move by inner instruction, not outer proof. And when you do, the universe shifts to support your motion. The invisible begins to take shape, and what looked like chaos becomes choreography. The spiritual lie being lived by the lost one is this: I must figure it all out. But I tell you, figuring it out isn't your job. Speaking the word is. The law doesn't obey the intellect. The law obeys the declaration of truth issued from a consecrated soul. When you say, Infinite Spirit, guide me now, you're activating a force that surpasses reason. You're giving divine law the opening to operate. But if you say, I need to know how, I need to see results, I need to understand first, then you block the very answer you seek. For the law moves in mystery, but it never fails. There's a divine plan for your life, and that plan includes your perfect self-expression, your perfect place, your perfect path, and your perfect provision. It's already written, already ordered, already alive in the superconscious mind. And the only way to draw it down into form is by word and faith. Every declaration you make is a chisel carving that design into reality. Every denial of fear is a key unlocking the next door. And every moment of silence isn't emptiness, but space being cleared for the voice of intuition to rise. You say, but I asked God for direction and heard nothing. I say, you didn't wait in faith. You didn't speak as one expecting a response. You didn't prepare your vessel to receive. Or you heard the whisper, but dismissed it because it wasn't dramatic. Divine guidance often speaks softly. A sudden thought, a chance encounter, a persistent idea that won't leave. These aren't accidents. They're the operation of spiritual law through your intuition. But you must trust it. You must move on it. You must act before you understand and speak before you see. The metaphysical meaning of lost isn't absence of direction. It's disconnection from trust. It's not that the door is missing, but that you refuse to knock. And so I tell you again, knock, speak, declare, move, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. This isn't a suggestion, it's a spiritual equation. Acknowledge the divine order verbally, rhythmically, constantly, and the law must obey. The way must appear, the fog must lift. You weren't created to drift. You weren't born to wander in confusion. You were designed to command the invisible and walk in supernatural clarity. You aren't here to ask permission from appearances. You're here to decree the truth and walk as if it has already unfolded. Speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. That is the formula. That is the pattern. That is the law. So now I ask you, what have you been speaking? What have you been declaring? Have you been saying, I'm confused, I don't know, I'm lost, I'm tired? Then you have authored your own fog. But if you say, Infinite Spirit knows my way and reveals it now, then you have broken the spell. Every word is a spell. Every word is a choice. Speak wrongly, and you curse your clarity. Speak rightly, and you walk in light. The next 14 days aren't a healing journey. They're a realignment with divine authority. They are a spoken word consecration to the law of divine guidance. You aren't here to wait and wonder. You're here to walk and know. And your knowing begins the moment you say, I trust the path I cannot see, because I know the voice that speaks within me. You're about to walk by a new rhythm, one not ruled by intellect, or urgency, or fear, but one ruled by faith, by declaration, and by divine law. And in this rhythm, you will never be lost again. Now, we begin the 14 days of spoken command. This is no ritual of hope, no timid prayer to the wind. This is the bold application of spiritual law through daily declaration. For 7 days, you will rise in the morning and speak the word. You will go to sleep declaring your path. You won't look for confirmation in man's world. You won't seek signs in circumstances. You will speak, and because you speak, you will see. Don't say, I will try. Say, I now begin. Don't say, maybe this will work. Say, the word never returns void. Begin each day by standing before your own soul and commanding it into remembrance. Say, Infinite Spirit, I do not beg, I declare, I do not wander, I walk in divine order. Let the first act of your day be a spiritual alignment with the unseen rhythm that governs all things. You aren't commanding God, you're aligning with divine mind. You're saying yes to what already is. And in that yes, doors open, paths rise, and obstacles dissolve. Day 1 affirmation. I walk by divine direction. Say it aloud, not once, but until your bones believe it, until your emotions submit, until your intellect bows. You're not asking to be guided. You're claiming what is already yours. The law of divine guidance doesn't begin working when you speak. It's always working, but your word determines whether you walk with it or against it. Let your first day be a breaking of inertia, a silencing of panic, a return to truth. I walk by divine direction, and the way is made plain. Day 2 affirmation. I do not delay. I obey the whisper of spirit. There is no confusion when you act upon divine instinct. Delay is the great killer of demonstration. Don't hesitate when the spirit nudges. Don't analyze the hunch. Act, move, speak. You'll never be given the whole plan, but you will always be given the next step. And that next step is sacred. Obedience is your offering. Faith is your currency. And your reward is clarity. Say it again. I do not delay. I obey the whisper of spirit. Day 3 affirmation. My next step appears, and I follow. Don't demand 10 steps ahead. Say the next one is enough. Trust isn't a feeling. Trust is a decree. You don't trust because you feel safe. You trust because divine law never fails. Today, you look not to signs, but to your own declaration. Today, you don't ask, what if it doesn't work? You ask, what if it already has? And you walk accordingly. My next step appears, and I follow. Day 4 affirmation. There are no detours in divine mind. Every so-called wrong turn is still on the right path if you remain aligned with spirit. What you call a setback, the law calls recalibration. What you call failure, the law calls redirection. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, nothing is out of order. Say it now and mean it. There are no detours in divine mind. I am always on the path of my highest good. Day 5 affirmation. Every closed door redirects me to something better. Release your grip on what has ended. Stop mourning what didn't happen. Let go of the fantasy that your plan was better than God's. If it closed, it wasn't yours. If it ended, it was preparation. If it vanished, it made space for something real. Say it loud enough to shatter regret. Every closed door redirects me to something better. Day 6 affirmation. I walk in perfect order. I move with grace. No more frantic energy, no more desperate searches. You're not chasing clarity, you're radiating it. You're not seeking approval, you're sent by spirit. Every step you take is part of the choreography. You're not late, you're not early, you're on divine schedule. I walk in perfect order, I move with grace. Day 7 affirmation. I trust what I cannot yet see. This is the turning point, the moment where your senses scream for proof, but you respond with praise, the moment where your emotions tremble, but your soul stands tall. I trust what I cannot yet see, and because I trust, it now appears. That is the rhythm of demonstration. That is the law of manifestation. You speak, and it is done. You trust, and it is revealed. You obey, and the way becomes easy, light, and full of wonder. Now, pause, breathe. Let these 7 days be more than words. Let them become rhythm, vibration, authority. Walk as one who remembers. Speak as one who commands. You are not a beggar. You are not a seeker. You are the voice of spirit in form, and what you declare, you must now obey. Your word is your contract. Your word is your path. Your word is your lamp. You are halfway to realignment. Don't turn back. Don't seek external validation. Your proof is in your peace. Your confirmation is your clarity. And your clarity begins again each morning you speak. Let the fog rise. Let the old thoughts fall away. You are not lost. You are being restored. We now enter the second movement of your 14-day restoration. The first 7 days dismantled the illusion of lostness. These next 7 days install your spiritual dominion. You are no longer correcting a condition. You are constructing a consciousness, one brick at a time, one word at a time, one breath of alignment at a time. This isn't recovery. This is resurrection. You are rising into the rhythm of divine mind. You are becoming the voice of spiritual order in a world obsessed with confusion. You aren't being rescued. You are being revealed. Day 8 affirmation. I am synchronized with divine opportunities. This is no vague hope. This is a metaphysical law. When you align with the rhythm of truth, you magnetize what belongs to you, not through effort, but through vibration. The right call, the open door, the inspired idea, all appear when you stop striving and start declaring. You're not trying to find alignment. You are the embodiment of alignment. Say it again. I am synchronized with divine opportunities, and because you say it, they begin to appear. Day 9 affirmation. I go where I am celebrated, not tolerated. You no longer force your way into closed spaces. You no longer shrink yourself for comfort or beg for recognition. You aren't lost. You've simply been lingering where your light wasn't honored. Divine guidance will never lead you to rejection. It will never assign you to humiliation. Your destiny is wrapped in joy, not striving. Say it aloud. I go where I am celebrated. And if a place doesn't celebrate you, it isn't ordained for you. Day 10 affirmation. God cannot misguide me. I now hear clearly. Stop questioning whether the voice within is real. Stop wondering if you're making it up. That still, small voice isn't your imagination. It's the language of infinite intelligence. It will never scream. It will never panic. But it will speak, and when you listen with faith, it becomes unmistakable. Today, write this line where your eyes can find it. God cannot misguide me. The truth must become louder than your fear, and when it does, your hearing clears. Day 11 affirmation. I trust the unfolding. The old self wants control. The old self demands timelines, but the spiritual self rests in divine order. Today, you walk without grasping. You trust without questioning. You allow without interference. You say, even if I don't understand this moment, I know it is sacred. This isn't resignation. This is dominion. To trust the unfolding is to say, God is working even when I feel nothing, and because I trust, I receive. Day 12 affirmation. I am where I'm meant to be, becoming what I'm meant to become. You don't have to run to catch up. You don't have to chase the vision. You aren't behind. You are exactly where divine law placed you, and from this place, you are being transformed. Your current surroundings aren't your final destination. They are your current classroom. So stop resisting the lesson. Stop despising the season. Speak it now. I am where I'm meant to be, becoming who I am destined to be. Day 13 affirmation. No fear can block my destiny. This is a declaration of war against the subtle sabotage of delay. Fear is no longer your leader. It no longer disguises itself as caution, practicality, or preparation. You aren't preparing, you are arriving. You aren't waiting, you are walking. Fear has no dominion where divine identity is declared. Say it until the resistance breaks. No fear can block my destiny. I am immune to delay. Day 14 affirmation. I now speak, and the way is prepared before me. This is your seal, your covenant, your contract with divine law. For 14 days, you've dismantled illusion, installed truth, and built spiritual dominion. And now you declare, because I speak, the way is made not because I hope, not because I plan, not because I figure it out, but because I speak, and the law must obey. For these 14 days, let your declarations be your map. Let your words be your compass. Let your affirmations be your fuel. You don't need more information. You need immersion in truth. You don't need more signs. You need more speaking. When you declare your way open, you give the law permission to move. When you trust your next step, you invite the miracle. When you obey the whisper, you activate the supernatural. And so I charge you, don't miss a day. Don't skip a word. Don't treat this lightly. You're not repeating phrases. You're reprogramming your reality. You're not chanting mantras. You're resurrecting your identity. You're not soothing anxiety. You're installing dominion. 14 days, 14 commands, and one reawakened soul, yours. You are not lost. You are now walking. You are not searching. You are becoming. The map isn't on paper. It's written in the rhythm of your word. Speak again, walk again, and watch the entire path appear beneath your feet. You have now spoken your way back to truth. But a deeper work begins, the cleansing of the subconscious mind. For you cannot install divine order in a temple crowded with confusion. You must now clear the altar, burn the false scripts, break the unconscious spell of being lost. I tell you, you were never truly lost. You were simply hypnotized by appearances, bewitched by the world's rhythms, charmed into forgetting that divine mind cannot abandon itself. And you are of divine mind. The fog that wrapped itself around you was never power. It was agreement. You agreed with doubt. You agreed with panic. You agreed with the lie of disorder. But now, we withdraw that agreement. Now, we replace it with truth. Hear me. Feeling lost isn't a location. It's a vibration. It's the frequency of mental noise that blocks the still, small voice. The subconscious receives what the conscious mind repeats. So every time you said, I'm confused, it obeyed. Every time you said, "I don't know what to do," it carved a deeper groove of doubt. Every thought is a thread, and over time, you wove a blanket of blindness. But now, we tear that blanket. Now we speak a new pattern. Now we thread the mind with light. Begin today with this replacement formula. When the thought comes, "I don't know what to do," you declare, "Infinite Spirit knows my way and reveals it now." When you think, "I feel stuck," you declare, "Every cell of my being is moving in divine rhythm." When you hear yourself say, "I've wasted time," you replace it with, "All things are working together for my advancement." This isn't motivational trickery. This is metaphysical law. The subconscious accepts repetition as reality, and when that repetition is saturated in spiritual truth, it begins to operate in your favor. It begins to open the path instead of blocking it. Let me give you a holy metaphor. Imagine standing in a forest thick with fog. You have a compass in your hand, but instead of trusting it, you toss it to the ground and demand the fog to clear. But the fog doesn't respond to demand. It responds to movement, to direction, to alignment. You must pick up the compass, your inner word, and move. Each step you take in faith changes the wind. Each declaration lifts the mist, and suddenly the trees begin to part, the sun pierces through, and what seemed like chaos becomes clarity. Your compass is your word, your fog is your fear, and your path is revealed only when you trust the internal over the external. That is how mental reprogramming works. You don't argue with the old thoughts, you override them. You don't negotiate with fear, you replace it with truth. You don't wait for the fog to lift, you speak as if it already has. Now, speak these lines with me, not once, but until they become rhythm. I am not confused, I am clear. I am not stuck, I am guided. I am not behind, I am on time. I am not searching, I am receiving. I am not broken, I am becoming. These aren't affirmations for your comfort. They are instructions to your soul. They are commands to your subconscious. They are declarations of alignment. When spoken repeatedly, they alter your inner architecture. They break the spell of logic and install the vibration of law. Some will say, "But I still feel lost." To them I say, feelings follow thought, not the other way around. Don't wait for the emotion to change. Speak until the emotion submits. Declare until the body aligns. Move until the mind quiets. This is the spiritual discipline of dominion. This is the sacred art of reprogramming. Your reality isn't built by what you feel. It is built by what you repeatedly say. So say it again and again and again. I am not lost. I am led. Let this phrase become your rhythm. Let it rise when fear whispers. Let it replace every anxious spiral. Let it interrupt the programming of defeat. Say it before bed. Say it before meetings. Say it before decisions. Say it until the atmosphere bends and the way appears beneath your feet. Mental reprogramming isn't a one-time act. It's a holy rebellion against every lie you have ever accepted. It is a consecration of thought, a baptism of language, a transformation of identity. And it begins with this daily choice to speak the word, even when the world looks unchanged, because the law moves when you do, and your word is always the first motion. You have now spoken long enough to stir the roots of consciousness, but a deeper layer remains, the roots of delay, the seeds of confusion, the dormant beliefs planted by fear long ago. They still wait to be burned by truth. This is the hour to go beneath the appearances, to uproot every mental agreement that says, I am off course. I am too late. I missed it. I tell you, you have missed nothing. You have only misjudged divine timing. For the divine path never punishes, only prepares. It never skips over you. It shapes you until you are ready to walk the prepared way. Let me remind you of the law. What you repeatedly think, you impress. What you impress, you manifest. And most people aren't living lives. They are living impressions, old impressions, hand-me-down beliefs, inherited doubts. You were told as a child that timing was everything. You were told that mistakes are permanent. You were told that success is a race, and if you fall behind, you'll be forgotten. But I say those ideas are not from spirit. They are from fear, and fear is not law. Fear is fiction dressed in logic, and today we end its influence. Let me tell you of a woman who once felt this same fog, this same gnawing sense that she was too far gone. She came to me worn and uncertain. She had prayed for years, yet nothing had moved. She said, "Florence, I feel like I missed my moment. I feel like everyone else passed me by." I told her what I now tell you. No good thing can be lost in spirit. If it is yours by divine right, it must appear. And if it is not yours, something greater waits behind the veil. I gave her a single affirmation. What is mine cannot be taken. What is not mine will never satisfy. She said it every day, not with desperation, but with dominion. And soon the call came, the door opened. Not the one she expected, but the one she had secretly longed for. The divine plan always surprises, yet it never misaligns. This is the truth you must now impress. I cannot miss my divine path, because the divine path cannot miss me. Say it aloud. Say it with fire. Say it until the chains of delay begin to crack. The appearance of missed opportunity is often just the silence before a perfect orchestration. When spirit rearranges the chessboard, you may not understand the pause, but that pause is precision. The seeming stillness is not absence. It is recalibration. Don't rush it. Don't fight it. Instead, reprogram it. Today, install this rhythm in your mind. Nothing is missing. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost in divine mind. Every delay serves my alignment. Every silence is sacred preparation. These are not comforts. They are corrections. You must correct the internal language that sabotages your atmosphere. If you say, "I should be further along," the law hears, "I do not trust divine timing." If you say, "It's too late," the law hears, "I cancel the miracle." But if you say, "I am in rhythm with the divine plan," and it unfolds, then all of heaven rearranges itself to affirm your word. Let us go deeper. You have believed that being still is being stagnant, that resting is falling behind. But spirit moves in stillness. Be still and know that I am God. This isn't a passive stillness. It is an electric, expectant quiet, a sacred composure, a holy anticipation. In that stillness, intuition becomes loud. In that stillness, synchronicity awakens. In that stillness, the next step appears, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. Speak this now, and speak it with conviction. The divine plan of my life is now in full operation. Every step I take is ordered. Every moment is meaningful. Every delay is divine. You are no longer reacting to appearances. You are commanding the unseen. You are no longer waiting for direction. You are giving spirit permission to speak by faith. And because you do, the way is made visible. Let me give you a vision. You are standing before a path that seems hidden. The air is still, The road is quiet. You are tempted to panic, to look for signs, to beg for light. But instead, you speak, you say, "This is the way, walk ye in it." You take one step, then another. The stones begin to glow beneath your feet. The silence turns to instruction. The fog dissolves into golden clarity. You are not lost. You are now leading your atmosphere. You are not seeking the path. You are creating it with every word. This is mental reprogramming at the highest level. It is not merely new thoughts. It is new command. It is the authority of spirit overriding the habits of fear. It is the word made flesh. And when you walk in this word, when you abide in this rhythm, confusion dies and destiny rises. Say it again and let it echo. I am not lost, I am led. I am not late, I am in rhythm. I am not unsure, I am directed. I am not waiting, I am receiving. And the divine plan of my life comes quickly, comes clearly, comes now. Now comes the hour of reckoning, the place where words must become walk, where declarations must turn into demonstration. You have spoken the truth. You have broken the lie. You have reprogrammed the fog. But the law is not satisfied by hearing alone. It demands action, not the action of striving or forcing, but the action of alignment, the action of obedience, the sacred movement that proves you believe what you said. For faith without a step is fantasy, and dominion without application is dormancy. So I ask you now, will you walk as the one who knows, or will you retreat as the one who still waits to be told? You must speak with your feet. You must speak with your time. You must speak with your silence. You must speak with your choices. For the next 14 days, you are no longer permitted to speak doubt. You are no longer authorized to rehearse confusion. You are forbidden from claiming lostness again. For you are no longer the one who wonders. You are the one who commands. And this is your challenge. Every morning, before the noise of the world enters, you rise and speak your word. You don't scroll. You don't text. You don't react. You command. You declare the day before the day declares itself to you. You say, Infinite Spirit, the path is shown, the fog is gone, the next step is here, and I take it with grace. And then you listen not with fear, but with faith. You expect instruction. You expect impulse. You expect alignment. And when it comes, you obey. You say your word again at night, before the heaviness of the day lingers into sleep. You release it. You sanctify the mind. You impress the subconscious with divine order. You say, tonight, I walk even as I rest. The divine plan unfolds even as I sleep. What is mine is revealed. What is not mine is released. I rest in guidance. I rise in power. If your mind tries to panic, you speak again. If your body feels weary, you speak again. If the voice of the old identity comes whispering, nothing is happening. You answer back with holy fire. The law is in motion. My word has gone forth. It cannot return void. This isn't motivational energy. This is spiritual discipline. You are no longer a passive participant in your path. You are the architect, speaking the blueprint line by line. And let me be clear, the old identity must fall. The version of you that waited, doubted, feared, apologized, and wandered. She is no longer permitted to speak. You must bury her voice under the sound of your word. You must lay to rest every story that says, I don't know who I am. And rise each day saying, I am the one God guides. I am the one divine mind instructs. I am the one the path opens for. Now hear this. No longer will you say, I'm trying. No longer will you say, "We'll see." No longer will you say, "I hope it works." These are the phrases of the powerless. You are not powerless. You are divine. You are not begging heaven. You are walking in it. You are not testing spiritual law. You are commanding it with reverence. So I say, stand up, say your word, speak your alignment. Live like one who knows that the next step has already been revealed in the invisible. Refuse to entertain the old mental weather. Refuse to pray as if lost. Refuse to perform as if behind. You are in step. You are in law. You are in perfect place. Let this challenge baptize your tongue. For the next 14 days, I speak with no compromise. For the next 14 days, I act as one already shown. For the next 14 days, I silence the voice of delay. For the next 14 days, I walk in proof, not in panic. Don't ask for permission, speak the permission. Don't wait for reassurance, declare the reassurance. And when you are tempted to collapse into the old, you speak this word with fire. That version of me is no longer permitted to lead. This is the command. This is the challenge. Speak, walk, obey. For the law now follows your word. Now we seal the word in fire. Now we declare not for hope, but for harvest. These are not gentle wishes. These are not soothing whispers. These are weapons of truth, forged in the authority of divine mind, released by the power of your tongue. You will not speak these as a ritual. You will not say them to feel better. You will say them to command reality. For every time you affirm divine order, you rewrite the structure of your atmosphere. Every line you speak is a thread in the new tapestry of your life. Let the affirmations come now, rapid, rhythmic, and real. Say each one as law. Speak them as covenant. Let no doubt interrupt their rhythm. The way is open before me. Say it until you feel the path rising beneath your feet. Say it until your muscles obey. Say it until your surroundings bend to meet your belief. You're not asking for a way. You are walking in it. I trust divine timing. This isn't resignation. This is rulership. Divine timing isn't delay. It is perfect release. The very moment you say this with authority, the law begins to accelerate what is ripe and shield you from what is not. There is no lost opportunity in spirit. Let this crush regret. Let it bury every false belief that you missed it, ruined it, or delayed it beyond repair. Nothing is lost in divine mind. If it is yours, it must return. If it left, it is making room for better. What is mine cannot be taken. Say this until your nervous system surrenders. Say it until jealousy dies, competition fades, and the fear of lack dissolves. You don't chase what is yours. You magnetize it by speaking as one who knows, I am now shown the next step. Let this be your rhythm every morning. This is your daily instruction. The next step doesn't hide from those who declare its presence. The path isn't a mystery to those who speak it into view. Now, the final line. Let it roar from your spirit.